And we are live. Okay. Ni bula Vinaka. Nakabali mo na siya mamay. Nanti mo nun siya matikumikin na matakanggo. Bula Vinaka, bula re, bula siya Arnayandra. Ni bula Vinaka. Vinaka bakal besar na siya matikumay. Klani bitin ko sa ucik ko na bitu. And sa bola ka na walo sa ucik ko na mama ni bitu. Nakabali besar bikim ni na siya matikumay na Talanoa Vinaka and sige Vinaka ni kuwa. Nraki Vinaka tunggo, recek ko itumba, dili Vinaka tunggo na sina, and matakali ni sige moniti ni karosa nga uluka diwa, rusa uluka diwa ni bulo kusita, batore de chukona chikini sige may hawa ingo, rusa nga uluka diwa, satu kun chukong ngono laptop ni usi chukong may hawa, waray laptop, ngono ko sa chukong viti. Dapat ni Vinaka ni saya masar chukong na matentu level Albania. And woliku ke bura-bura. The marota ni Rosia machukum na turanga biotini, Master ke Mrs. Ganivatu, and non ro Sama chukumai, and non the Talanoa, and a single Vinaka na buku ni ken na may tiko na non ro Ebola, na Ebola ni serikali, kapulan na nung kumaramatawu o Kelera Ganivatu siya masarch nga minggo and sino Vinaka ni kuwa may Albania. May bakanga na Kenny Keirau and nontondo Talanoa and to pala minda rongo ta matin do na sere me se machikenda tu and nabuno ta bangaw ni siya machikumikin na sino Vinaka ni kuwa may bakani maramatiko niya sanora na maraman ren ko and na rongo ta matin na sere ngo na sere niya sanora na dana tiko na mae na mae. Iya satu tokan di dalam ada sergo. Bikin bikin ada biokan di mana sanora. Na bulan apa ngau ni saya mati kumikin na sini benar ni kuah. Enda na rongo teman dan ser totokonggo. Meti kebutakan na nonton bita. Yani Vinaka, main barang bikin ni semua. Baka sere go sere and kuna tiko na maraman ren go and sala baka turang ora totok na sere go ni semati kenda kina bonua baka turanga ora and kami sing Vinaka ni kwanta maro taka ni bunga baka mbule tiko maingo ni mbule Vinaka na semati ko mai Amerika emosi mole ndo mbule Vinaka songora semsar tiko mini Silandi ifremi apisai mbula nako tako tamay Jerry nakabakalevu na siya mamay Dombolo Vinaka me Sierra Leone rendini tala ela fina wangka di papalang tolo binatau binakabalevu na siya matikumay maramang kasnibuli maramang nimbua sinate wangka po may Okalandi Menisilandi Dombolo Vinaka Madam Lucia Takape Dombolo Vinaka binakabakalevu na namun siya machumay na matakanipua hindi na siya ganito kunyani na itukutukong ni Willy Kumbeka na non natanga ni bebo tau Kelera Ganivatu na Talanoa na matak binakanipua yan damarutaka kaya bibuso tito kaya ni bikim niya sa kilata umantatiko na ngaw na lavaki so nga nataverli lay ni mona liba na matakonggo iya damarutaka ni suletu na kalaw na tiki niya wongo menda bebate kirona turanga biotini era usema sarchungo mi Albania en woli ku ke burbure na bonua baka Europe menda baka yana sara baka totolong ko birau ni rosa sema tikumai mur sambuli Vinaka na turanga biotini
Arnayandra
mur bula Vinaka musike mami chukana barong chukaningo nakambia kana kena pasunda bakara congratulations tau Kelera Ganivatu nomu samay bola na nomu matay ni bola ni serikali kaya na buna to mibital no chukina ni kuwa bunga bikemami rimbitaka na veka o sasanga taka na kera boleh ni bola ndakila ni siya ni Keirau na nomu may siya mabikemami na mata ni kuwa tau na bakaraw takong beka sobi rabarong tikumay erangangan tikum beka merbaka ndamur muria nangoni salo ni muria tiko tau na buku ni matay na bolay ni nonta serikali kena karuan na kena tambaki bakai bola kongko bikim ni rabarong tikumay na turang marama dorbono ngonele na besi burbura kena besi biti sanggay tambaki sarti ngangko na nonay bola na marama ni rango sama sartiko kina yan totoko kantabu ros hantam sarti ngabengko na turang biotini ya bakang bula mata may tao na bakarong tikumay oti o nangay kire masta nga ni batu menangay bakang bula may nakatao
nakambulu tau nakawalevu na visureti na klani kerebol me tabo di na nonggoy bola may launch kina online o sa sangtali rate ito no me virtually launch na ibolanggo kung ano ba Vinaka bikim na matavuvale nindo lom soliti ko may kito may kero may tabo di kin na ibola on this platform tomando Ovin katal nga meu bambu labi kenda na via kanin da senda da sema tingo mango we kenda na tingo may biti may nonda ni ang Vinaka we kir total nga na tingo Europe class sambo ni lebsar tingo nimbulo Vinaka pati kay na we sa burbur na binota ko ni sema tingo may kina so bambu litigan we kim ni na balem na sema tingo may da may bitomani tingo na Talanoa we are just here to share na Talanoa ang baleta na bola and the inday. Limbula Vinaka.
Na ko nang wala iTaukei bambula matamay.
Obviava madala tagi ke raunga o Kelera tubo Ganivatu pa marama nimbure wai en cikina na korutumbu main sana baturangan ora. Ayau na dango peni yang Ganivatu o turangan ni nakoro na cikina na kaseleka mai kandang.
Sa Vinaka, vale vikimruka na turanga biotini na murusia macuk may nilebu. Wana po tumada na Andra may Albania na nguna kamasta?
Iyo Vinaka na Andraki kay mamiduro mo yung wanang ni kata-kata. Sa awitian ni Andraki bata-bata na winta kay mamimaro taga sa rachukong ko na Andraki na ngunong ko may ni mami Andraki kata-kata may wakatu na kana was lagi babalang na sama. Duru muchung mai tego mai na vida na bula sauti abaro mai dava tali chungo toko tunan raken na bunongo kero babu bina kan kero mai maru tarti na no bikadi bina kalo na bula kero mai chunkin na bonwa bina kan go iyo toto chung na bula ke tos chung ba malua ke to chung sa rira en verva ni bonwa go Europe itu biar lain cukup batik nabi mati itu nikla cukup mai dake mai na boli ku kita una bono kelele ko Kosovo ara mai bengar dake ke no irana sotia ke mami babu ni Vinaka ni ngo ngai donga na bono na bono ko kero ni malikin visa free ke dan mai bike iyo yana Vinaka min baleta na bono Vinaka ra turana Vinaka marama Vinaka na iTaukei ni bono lebu tuna kani tuku makawa membaleta na bunong ganga na dona ngona ya kero babu ni Vinaka ni kero mai chiku na vikati ni kalo na bungi veiqaravi bangas ni bulia na bunong
Sa Vinaka na wale besar mastana na mu siya may na namuru siya masar chiku mai Albania bikim ni na warang chiku mai nimbula Vinaka bikim ni sa siya minggo Mrs. Katerina Ruru mbula Vinaka madam na bakal besar na siya machukumay na mataka Vinaka ni siya ni kuwa na mataka ni kuwa na nandabi Talanoa o tau Kelera na bos nga babalangi baleta ni lewusar chiku na wekandera siya ni kilana bos veitokoni na siya matikumay ni kuwa o tau masta na bos nga bakabiti me olongi ramay na wekanda and the people say nga bakabiti o maramanira sarsoli bi ko na ngalala mena bos nga bakapertania me bakangani no to bos nga mena sanora Aku balik besar tahu, iya tahu Kelera, raman tengah dia, baka matal tak matang may na nomo, nangoni sa lawa muria na buku ni nomo bi baka tabulidi, may baka ni maraman ng gasnibul. So you have an education background, and you went to the University of the South Pacific, and acknowledging all our non-Fijian speakers logging in today. Can start to notice some names, some of our listeners who went to school with Kelera and went to both in high school and in the tertiary. So over to you, Tau. Just briefly share with us your academic journey to bring you to where you are now.
Thank you very much. I especially asked for this time to speak in English. I know that this is a iTaukei platform and we should be hosting our witty, but this time is for a book launch, and I would like to be inclusive, to also include everybody who has been very supportive and encouraging over my journey. Today, I would like to mention a little bit about my educational journey. We already had this talk with Bulou here, with Dr. Tarisi. I started out with, I'm from Nandi. I'm from Ratambu Nandi, but I was brought up by my mother's family. So I was brought up by my mother's family, and I started my education from Namuka District School, from Bisongo, Maduata. And I would like to honor my uncle, and they are bringing me up, and all those things that happened to me within those 4 years. And then after the 4 years, my grandparents asked me to go and join them in the village in Mburewai. So I went to spend some time with them for 2 years. Mburewai, Nakartumbura, Matanggali Wanawati, Abusare Savu, and I had a beautiful time with them. I had a beautiful time with them, and I've never forgotten the way that they brought me up. From there, and then I continued on, and I went over to Suva to be with my uncle and my aunt, and I'm so glad for them. And also, I would like to acknowledge them in this platform that they looked after my education. And I was in Dudley Intermediate. I started from class 7, 8, and then I moved on to Dudley High School. So I'm a Turaki kid. I don't know what I became, but I'm a proud Baingani. So I'm so glad of that time in Dudley. I'm so proud to be associated with that school. From there, then I went over to the University of the South Pacific. I'm so glad that I went through that tertiary years. And then I continued from there straight after, I think in 1999, yeah, I graduated. And then I continued over to teaching. And I taught in Natambo High School for so many years. I think from there, then I moved on to Lotoko Teachers College. I was with the teachers there, teacher trainees, before I continued with my studies, my postgraduate level. And I'm so glad I majored in literature. And from there, I started with this love of literature when I was very young. This love did not start now. This love started from kindergarten, when I was so small, when I was so young. It started from the love of books in the library. It started from the love of books in the home. So it did not start just down the road. No, it started out when I was young. So I'm so glad for everybody who were part of my upbringing. And, from FNU, and then my husband got the break of his life, and then he got promoted, and then he came over to Mexico. We spent about 10 years in Mexico. After from my being in Fijian National University, I taught there for some years. I'm so glad that some of my friends are here, some of my colleagues who turned out to be friends. I'm so glad for them encouraging me in this journey. Katarina Ruru is here, Nana Mima, my aunt is here, and I would like to acknowledge her for looking after me all this time. And all of these people, because we do not exist in isolation. You are part of a supporting system. These are people who have supported me in this journey. And we came over to Mexico. My husband got a job in IB. And so we spent 10 years in Mexico teaching in the IB curriculum. And then he got another job offer here in Albania. We packed up our bags and we left, and here we are. And that's just very short where my life is at the moment.
To talk about coach, man, I can see that you can also write a book just on the journey alone. And for you, Master Ganivatu, I think your journey na namula ko lako tanching na tambanan ni Bulou. Roni ba mataltakin talaga bala kaleka na sale wo muria ni namur may sota bat ki tau Kelera na namuru tomana chiknga na biba katabulivi ni murungas ni Bulou naka Masta?
Iya, Vinaka. Io ayaw kalungatan niyo susumay na doon na bumali to ngas ni Bulou kaya tukango ngas ni Bulou tamango ketinango ngas ni Bulou talaga kaya tega butagin na nung Bulou may nasaw primary school may nakoro nasaw nandela indokindoki kaya kilay lebutu ko keto Bulou may kaya nimberni ngole may doon ay bakilami o tia usama ni toki sarani ne to primary school mai suba Bulou chupeka ngona talanga rasa mailang kaki nung butung-butura usangai suso yao bat kini kwa yang tarabiao kero susu wana turangan na tukangu kenabung mai suba yana ngona kedine nung Bulou mai beuto Wachi may beuto ngale ni suba grammar school au form 2 ni ato sarna form 8 may grammar nimber ni ngale ni na university nida kana lay garabi na Bulou torodake Ayaw kiro biya tutuwa te chico pati kay turang tao en kilamera na nero leso ke biya tutuwa te chico na biya chico en vele kami baleta na fika pati kay na physics iyo ayaw kena gas ni buli matay no bulis lesi ngono turri bol may kina na university nila ndo nga nabukor ni buli may bici na secondary school ayan awa gas ni buli to nga may na kur ni buli niya sana lewomba may ba provincial secondary school au anggas ni bulika rauta may na baki ronondolu ya daw na ronondolu ka walu awa lesu talen university au le kita talen do talen na buli ya may kaya usangay ngole na Nanjing International School au lingkas ni buli na Nanjing International School na lima na baki o cheli manamba ke usangai apply mai ne bakangan curriculum ngarabi chuku mai na school ya bang tayo na international baccalaureate au apply mai au mani kalungatan ni ndola video na kalu ya ndora kurhuli Mexico en ronondolu chinkarua kerau sabi musu-musu kichuki na batika na maramani rango ando dore kerau mau dan Bulou Julai ya sama di Pandaroy au satu guna usalang manda au bindu mai bichen Bulou me lang mai Mexico misami te guna gas ni buli mai Mexico rota chumbe ke chine na baki kero mai chine na baki kya chine baki ke uli mana baki mai na dona city level katolu ni city level mai Mexico Monterrey wala ke chuna boda bat ke Texas rona ya wa may na boda may Texas kero tengo may tengo talaga kya ni rombula bakawati ke Kelera o kila ni kero ba mau nga na September sa bulkawalo wala nga ni Fiji kero ba mau sa bulkawalo tol sa bulkando kero sa bulkamay kero sa bulkamay may tingo tayo sa Mexico na ni rombula ba biotini ni berni ngol sombo may Merida may lima na baki kya na bagsawod kero sa bindu may Mexico may kero ngol may na kurbulingo pero may veiqaravi kinango na bonongo na korongo tira na kortura na matenitungo albeni
sa da matalau na rongoda na mu Roi Talanoa na turanga biotini bikem ni barong ti kumai kot sarnga men me munin bilon roni moli ni toso bole kamai na mone leva en gua sa bakangan da katalutiko na rongo Vinaka ni non Roi Talanoa na turanga biotini do lever do torong sarchunga mai raba kata mo laking gas ni buli e bonotani nangai tobole men nangai do na singa meron nangai tiba tarong tal na turanga biotini meron na pamadal takai ni bikim ni na barong tikumai ngon sala dava rau kine be kim ni nangas ni bulu ni barong tikumai moni ngol tal ngai bonotani moni laki be bakata buli dikina iya me bakani singani ko singani kana tabo na nonai bolo maramatau to sana ngol sarngango na kana vital notaki na ibolo to tokongo tau Kelera one thing you mentioned is the love of reading your love of books maybe if you can just share a little bit about that encouraging our parents and the children that are listening in about the power of reading and it's interesting that you took us back to your beginning of your life to now that you are actually launching your own book. Would you like to say something to that?
Yeah, I would like to mention that it is crucial. It's a very crucial time in a child's life to have that literacy and to foster that love of reading. We need to really start early with our kids because we are teachers. And I forgot about this, but I taught in Matavuvale High School too as well for so many years. But I've seen the trend. My Matavuvale High School, it's anywhere around in the world that children, they don't really like to read. And I've suspected that the love of reading needs to be fostered when they're young. Parents need to read to their children folk tales, fairy tales. Especially for our children And this was important for me because when you agreed to this talk, I realized when I reflected on my journey that I did not start at class 6. I started when I was in kindergarten. That love for reading and love for books, any books, started from there when I was with my uncle, Momo Sakeo Turukawa, back in Wisongo, in Namuka. So I used to spend a lot of time in the library, and in there, the time would fly. And I realized that my love for books and stories started from there. And it continued over the years. And that love has never waned. That love has never failed me because it has continued over the years. And it naturally, when that love for reading comes, because you're engaging a lot with the plot, you're engaging a lot with the world of the books, you naturally would like to write. Eh? You naturally would like to write yourself something because you would like to create. You are reading and you are taking in all of this world, all of this landscape, all of these things. And I've realized it was fostered when I was very, very young. Na kung nanondarbi Talanoa iliw I Bulou na wili bola everywhere around the house. Eh? Wherever I go, the book goes with me. So it has carried with me. I carried that love with me to my grandparents, my Muriwai, Langmay Suba. I used to stay a lot of the time in the library for the love of these books. But let the love of words, with words come power, with words come the words where you can use. And naturally, so it has and tiko with reading and writing. So in order to be a writer, we need to be good readers. And we need to read anything that it's not only Fiji Times or Daily Post or whatever. We need, or Fiji Sun, we need to read as widely as possible. But when the style of writing of people. From there, we should be able to engage with the way we write. Yeah, so that reading has continued over the years. And it's continuing now.
Masta, I'm sure you lived, enjoyed time spent with your beautiful wife. What about in terms of reading, watching her read and enjoying books? O talita kita talanga ko masta na Willy Vola na no mutubo ka talanga may vale ninro gas ni vulroro no mutumbo. Ken balan na Willy Vola may korrivole may cintali vale. Domo to no pamatala ke masta.
Vinaka vale uno Tarisi. Oh, Keirau veadu dito ka palila yan na kinagawa. Kaya siya na sosaran nito malele vale and ano Willy Vola. Ayaw totalita kan na totalita ko ayaw nakamin baleta na fika. Baleta na fika, baleta so nakamin baleta na burubura kena vilawa na bula tu kinagawa. Wana bunoya endo malele kinavale una na yalo. Naibola au wili ka ngabale na naibola tambu kena be kataleso naibola ko chico bana rika una ngandrikina au kila kenda ke chico na bonu chico kina na lomanda kena nonda ngandre waya do wili ka bale una yang matangali bola wa naibola pamadala taka na vika kena vika le waituki na bula dan bula tuki na buru ya na uno do malel kin vale boya mondo wilika yo na kelera poya na ivola ke dona kanko yang do rei do wa poya vi vanu ke de kirondo la kin Erawa na vi airport keve na vi bono iburu kirondo bakatale usando wada na wawa
Ando tunru
usando wada na wawa ni do lago ko mena leitu na bookshop mena bole mai nebo dona kaya o do re na le rawa saranga ni bambere Keirau Ano na leitu ko au do tu no vai do na ka satu wala sana na waraki ko endo nga na sto ay na burungo ay na laukin do tala na kaya na kuta pa tiki ko ni bonda na wanga buka na kuta pa tiki ko na vi mo kino do laukin na kuta chuko ko na no nei bola me na wili ko e eu kila endo na mbeka na banua ko buror mai kin na vi ko na no na sasanga ke bareta ka chunga na vika sa chuko ra loloma iyo ya untuk wili bola wili ka ngabale bona bola va bimbi wana vi vandindi ke so metabana ni science va belang akin na kapikin na vika din baleta na fika iyo
sa totoo kasaranga nakabaliw sarkay na mu se matamay na Talanoa so membaleti Kelera na totalitik na wili vol salivavu na murdo berata na wanga buka na buku di na dole wabu kitsiko mistress na vi bola vistoni bola na airport au va di Vinaka ke Vikim ni na barong cukup maju lah kami nak kena wili bola. Ibarat kita nak serang go Mrs. Ganivatu dan totalitas kena wili bola. Tapi di binak teringat bi mas Ganivatu. Nindo tubi ko na yalo poso me warra katu na maramani rango. Iya. Totoo ka makauch. Iya. To sarang wala sarain ko na ulo tangan ni bola tau. Tau Kelera. Tika bu sar manda bada na mu talita ko mo sa tika bu mo bola na mu serkali ke na tubo sambil to mena tambaki. Pamadala manda kinna. If you can share it with us tau
Yeah, I'd like to continue from there, and apology to the viewers. These are for my friends who are not Fijian, and they are also have been part of this writing journey. You know, the writing of these poems started 10 years ago. I think it went way, further than that. When I was in Fiji National University, I was FNU. It did not start when I was in Natambua. I do know that I wrote something on a short story that got the first prize, and I had a return trip to New Zealand over that short story that started out. But my serious writing started when I was in FNU, and that was in way back in 2008, 2008. And I started writing poetry. I started writing poems, and we don't need to be in a special atmosphere for us to write. You can write whatever is in your heart, whatever is burdening your heart. And so we can, we talk about it. But a lot of us, we find that peace when we write about our experience, when we write about everything that is happening to us. And a lot of the time for me, how I connect to the world and how I make sense of things is through writing. So that's how my poetry journey has started, because I started from FNU. I started writing some things, and Professor Subramani used to sort of run a poetry program in there, and we used to share our poems. And Professor Nandan was also part of it. So the Wamengo Nangasim go, hey, Kelera, why don't you write something? I said, I don't know what to write. You can write about anything, Kelera. You just have to focus. Distraction. So Professor Nandan used to, I was very close to Professor Nandan, and my friend Kamendra, who is also was one of my colleagues in FNU. And so Professor Nandan Satembernada used to be our mentor, so to speak. But he was the one who inspired us to write. And regarding our first video that we did, if you don't write, Kelera, who's going to write? If you don't take that mentor, who's going to do it for you? So I said, I don't know. And he said, well, you better start. You have to start somewhere. Ela ko may evento na turang India. Sining oleh may evento na iTaukei. And I am challenged. I am challenged. Though kila nubia raravalilai on that day, but he was really serious about this writing journey. And he said, you know, Vinaka, to stand up tomorrow and publish books. I'm happy. I've done my job. Yeah, September Nandan, for those who are tuning in, a pair of black shoes. I think everybody knows it. And yeah, it started from there, and we are still continuing. It doesn't have to be excellent. You just write. You write so that that creativity flows. Right when you don't feel like it, right when you feel like it, you continue to write.
Wow. Totoo kasarangan mo yung say may tawe. I think I remember that saying, the pen is mightier than the sword. And that is such a very powerful quote that can encourage many of us. As you said, I have nothing to write about. But no, you have lots to write about. You just have to focus. So I think the message that everybody needs to take out from today is the word focus. Focus. And thank you, Tau, for being so diligent. You know, you're taking us back to 2008, and you never stopped there. And if Professor Nandan is going to watch this Talanoa sometime in the future, I'm sure someone will shoulder tap him at some point about this video that will be on YouTube. But just wanted to thank you, Professor Nandan, for encouraging Tau Kelera to give her that strength that she needed. Maybe sometimes, I think generally for many of us, we hear things that we don't want to hear, but we later realize that, hey, this person can see the potential in me. And that belief in you, look, we are today launching your book. So I'll go to Master Ganivatu. Master Ganivatu, when Kelera was talking about publishing her book, what was going on in your mind? Never mind, ako turumba ka sama Master. Ona tarong mo, dala marami ni Raquel, lebo ka nervia batila. Do man tanong mo pa madalaki Master.
Iya Vinaka, iyo na tambay bola uri dan akan itu ba na proses. Siang so ni raw-rawa. Baleta ausare den indo publish na ivola non retu tambanga mai vici na ivola lewer tambanga USP pero satu no kabe na non na itu ba di Vinaka to kwa men tambanga na non na ivola ya Keirau se chico mai Mexico Keirau sabi Talanoa taka di sana tega bu metamba don ka Keirau pa Vinaka ta kan di Keirau lako mai na wura le buni veiqaravi daga mere ni tatandolon le buna katumba le butal ngane bi kada sanga tunikila daga mere na wura le bu enda sa sematiki na be sai wura enda chikukina Keirau mai uli sarbale na koko ni mona liba le buna na platform itu ya roni buke ke dan nda bola berna taka be so na taka merau ni tu lagi Vinaka kina na bika da tambaka na bambimbi na non dai bola la na kena lagu mai na design na kena format taki na kena lagu na social media na kena ele buna kango kilo usengo na kango nda kusingira ni buli de pa kenda rochu mai bici baleta satu na bika na la beta taki se tokona na non da sesa ba ni na kena tambaki na bola ayaw doon na numuto ni sabar rota ka sarbale na doon na bika kero may doon na 5 klani na kay ba madal kina ba malo kala na kena tambaki na kena format taki na bola na kena vaka na kena cover page na kakeda le era da cover mayeso
so tale freelance
era uso mga evidena le sar na ilavo eso mikina wira da cover may ya utuku na barata kaya usabi tambaka na nomi bola tambaka baleta endo na kale ndo tambaka baleta ngona no mu tatandro gotal na endo na kai kuasa tu ban na no mu daru tambaka ya kiro ba ni na kiro la mike gai kiro re dan ni kakek de kiro ngandra ba itu sarana na rukungan ni nero apartment go
Nakita boleh ka?
Keirau na nero na tampagikin na bola na kakede chuku sarang ay narukungan ni nero apan chuku kinan do na tamban ni tambay bola na bonongo tirana bukia sarwale bunan nero na kadaka ya satu kundra kun lang katakan na ilamos na kana isaw na tapos bato ko na mutatanda mutatanda daru na taka besar na kian batangin din de sara binakan tundo ko ikungan rer menata kaki daru na taka balik ko na mutatanda o kila ni savaru takatala na kalo na vika iso men na baiduri men na raditoko na daki na kana rawan ni tambay na na ibola
Sajir, Vinaka believe Sara, Masta, Dona Kavinaka, and veitokoni, Kelera, Clalele usar chukrasem chukmingora, Barong chukmebaka biotini, and Gondoni Varitek Vinaka, became Rorua, Master and Mrs. Ganivatu, and another veloman in the veitokoni na veotini, and Dona Kelevaritek Gonisa, Tukuno Maramatau, au Betabaka no Bibol, Sangat Tukuno o Master Ganivatu. Ponilenga no gumarama na tambaki na numibola da kere na veitokoni tiko kila ni sono ngona antara di kambeka bikim do viutini sono ngona bikim na marama masta bikim beta kabundona ka sanga ndlak to medol beka na bosar na ka si na tambali beta kabungori kila na tambaki ni pole so lebu na lebu na ka na tukuni membe baka mebi baka lele take ya na kanta sa rede tuni po da rede ni seng serangan ya ya ngole serangan menel no veitokoni mesatik butaki na kena baru tambakin na ibola ya tahu Mrs. Ganivatu, would you like to share to us the content of your book? And for you, those of you listening in our audience, you can see the books behind them. The Peregrine Falcon's Cry. Tau, can you explain to us why did you call your book with that title?
It's a very good question. I was thinking of a poem. It actually came from the title of the poem, and this poem was sent over to Fiji. I was told it was accepted, but then it didn't really. And then I found out at the end that they did not publish it in Fiji. And so I was not deterred. I was saying, I did not quit. I said, okay, it's all right. And so I decided at that time that I was going to name my collection. It's going to be the name of a collection because it was, because they said that they were going to publish it and go into an organization in Suba that I will not mention. And they did not publish it at the end. I don't know, maybe the content of the poem was too explicit. But it's my truths. It's the things that I feel very strongly about issues. And I realized from there that I needed to start with a poem that was, was rejected in the first place. The Peregrine Falcon, we can na turang kena marama, kena wakabiti na nga ni batu. And it's also a similarity of to explain but it's a family name of my husband. It's my husband's family name. And I decided that the collection was to be a collection of my thoughts. And I decided to adopt that name, the Peregrine Falcon's Cry. It's the cry of my heart. But I'm using my husband's family name, Nanganibat. And in that poem, which is inside this book, it's everything that I've felt that is happening in our society in Fiji. And I don't want to spoil by revealing a lot, but it's a very long poem. It's a very long poem. And it's a defining poem in my collection. It's the Peregrine Falcon's Cry, Natangi Ninga Nibatu.
Something that you just mentioned there, the feeling of rejection. And I think all of us have had rejections one way or another in our lives. But what I can see here, it didn't deter you. It didn't stop you. And that's such a beautiful lesson for all of us, that when someone says no, you'll find somewhere else that someone will say yes.
Find a
Yeah?
window.
Find a window. So what I always say to my friends as well, for me, my motto is when one door closes, there will be other doors that will be open, or as you said, find another door or create another door. So
Yes.
Vinaka vakalevu tau, just for encouraging us that when you
Yes.
find rejection, don't take it personally or don't take it as a way of like stopping your vision, your dream, but keep going. Yeah, keep
Yeah.
going. Vinaka vakalevu.
I'd like to add that every writers out there in the world, they've been rejected a lot, especially with their manuscript. They had to take a lot of rejection in order to get a breakthrough. We're getting a writer. So it's nothing new. We can't we'll have to face that one day, that our manuscript will be rejected by publishers. But that should not deter you. And or I've always mentioned this in my Facebook account, that if they did not invite you to the table, don't worry, you build yourself another table. Samantha Bulou.
Sa totoo ka sarangaya, Masta Ganivatu, never mind no Vunidilo, and just for that statement, yeah? Find another table or build another table. What are your thoughts there, sir?
Iya, lebih kan nan rakinim bulan kan naduru minan rendre sa tingin bulan rendre talanga ile buna kami na buli temikin. Ayaw sandu ba buli tengah nan bulan, that I always look at the positive in life. I don't dwell on the negatives. I learn what I learn and I move on. Utoso. Letanan rendre labi kenda tagi tale. Kinan dua tale na vanuai binakata chiko. Mentana ada bayani kina. Iyo kelera no taka singi taka raro na bola na yanra because it's a passion. Dona ka sa no passion sa nasenga ni taro birawa. Iyo. Ukila weekend ni kuwa ukila dona lesson ni bula. Manta sasanga weekend weekend ni ngode buli ni warong chuko mayo kenda taka lagu duru chuko sona ni rendre. Ukila ni rendre siang ni dava ni bula. Rendre santo awala nga nakatumba ni nomutoso itale ke nando tale na bonwe binakadi sigo mon na do wa weekend menta buli maikina da tor na kabi binaka ndara ni buli de maikina tor na be kabinaka lesson bi binaka ichuko na rendre siang ni do va buli de bagarara yo kotale na ndola ba sona katumba pues rendetal ngabe dolabi nindala ko rumah na be ngonsala
Dia na saranga Vinaka nang sar na positive bakal kang kataki masta weekend na warong chikumayen dan staba na rendre e mentarete chingo kenda na bonuai bela beti na bonara rama ke bakasa chiko na tatanda be bakasa chiko na marama doni bola marama gasti buli Mrs. Kelera Ganivatu na me wase chiko weekend na ibola sama tambaki kasa tabu sar chikunga na tikni au dan da bichukina na matak binaka dikwa. Mrs. Ganivatu, how long did it take you to compile all your poems and to take it over through to the publication phase?
Yeah, well, I started writing from those years. Well, I started compiling my collection seriously from Mexico in 2013. 2013, I started compiling, and it was a few. When you want to have a decent collection like this, maybe so that you can see when you have a decent collection, you need to compile more. You need to write more content. You need to have more content. So it took me a lot of years from that time from Mexico, and I think I finished the collection when I was in Mexico. And I was supposed to publish from Mexico. It did not happen according to God's will. And I said, okay, let's forget about that. Let's go to Albania. So we came here to Albania. And when we were here in Albania, we had to finish our Masters of Education. We had to finish all that. And okay, the book has to wait because the masters cannot wait. So the book has to wait, but in the meantime, which is like this year, 2022, God just put in my heart, you need to publish that book. This is the time. I cannot have the time to devote to my writing and creating and then working. So I had to do that when I was in a holiday. So in my holiday, which is about 2 months, 2 months of holiday was spent on this book. And because I had to have it edited, I had to have it formatted. Penny that Fiverr.com. We came in via Bola, we can Fiverr.com is a freelance company that is organized or run by Israelis. And everybody around the world who is a freelancer is using Fiverr.com to do anything you wish. Of course, you have to pay them. You have to pay them, but they are affordable, like $5 US, $10 US. Which is formatting the book. I wanted to share a little bit about the book. This was drawn by one of my British friends, Natalie Dickinson. Tiko Talanoa, artwork of Natalie. And Natalie Dickinson has given me permission. She might be watching this video. That's the reason why I asked for us to speak in English. For me to use her artwork. And so in order for it to be formatted into a book form, I went to Fiverr and they formatted the whole thing. If you are just typing on Word, it has a different texture, different character. So you need somebody who's a professional. Mendona professional layout ni interior. Interior. The interior of a book needs to be formatted properly. So all that took about 2 months. It took about 2 months for us to get it done. So I had to engage somebody to lay out the cover. Somebody has to lay out the cover and somebody has to format the book inside. So all of that costs money. So, but I'm so glad I made use of some of the people online, freelancers, Fiverr.com. They were from Pakistan, Bangladesh, but they were working freelance. And I paid them to do all those things in my book. Some of them are very good. They're very excellent. Some of them, but you need to know whom to use, whom to engage with the review and all. But all of that, they helped me in laying out the book. The book is on, I can see that some people are saying, where can we find the book? The book is on Amazon. So if you look at Amazon.com, you can just type my name, or you can just type the Peregrine Falcon's Cry. It can lead to that platform. Pero sanga sarati kong go wako koa, Keirau taongo, Keirau yani viti, sa Keirau chinga wako ko ratutao me alalom soli, me ratindo na usa me kawani viti, Keirau so me vitsarabin katiko me rabolia indo na copy. So I'm so glad of the support. The support has been tremendous. I'm so glad for all of you who have encouraged me in this journey. And a book is in isolation if it is not read. We need readers. So, vakalevu we can make sa kunting may beya. Oh, I mean, don't copy. Na copy ng gaya tiga ni piti. We can in na tiko outside Fiji. You can just head over to Amazon, type my name or type the title, and you should be able to take it.
Wow, that is amazing. How do you feel, Mrs. Ganivatu, holding that book? Just hold it up again. And I just want you to reflect on the day maybe you had a vision, or you, Master Ganivatu said you're so passionate about it, and we can't do anything about it because you have so much passion of writing and having that vision to write this book. Tell us a little bit about that, Madam.
Yeah, I feel a sense of satisfaction, completion. I feel a sense of peace, and I felt a sense of joy, and I felt a sense of joy towards my God, who has enabled me to do all this. Saya sampai nakalo enta sinrenta ka pikir no kango, no tatataka no dabuli, tatataka bakabuli, go nakalo. I just want to share that to you all, because it is Christ that has strengthened us. Metigo non dai nui ni ka enta ka na basing. Sang non nui no sang ani tosa ng bula. So when I went to places around the world for the bookshop, in the bookshop and every places like that, I used to go over to the counter and I just take the book and I just feel the cover. It's a ritual for me just to feel the cover. I go and I read Osanga Indo Imagine. Oh, but I'm not talking to him, I'm talking to him. I said, I had a dream that I was going to publish one day exactly the kind of book that were there on the bookshop. And I said, Lord, in your time, you will make it happen. In your time. I know in your time you will make it happen. And of course, in his time. Amen.
Congratulations, Tau. And if I can ask Mr. Ganivatu, Masta, ni taon do pambiray ko na bookshop and namurdong lakwa na bisi burbura. She always hang around the bookshops, but now she will be one of the authors in that bookshop in Heathrow or Sydney or wherever in the world. Na dapamanda orang itu ko na Master Ganivatu to Mrs. Ganivatu ni Samayardova na nananganganre may tambakan doon na ibola. May baka ni Murubiotini, ondo ndala chiko na nasasanga na maramatao, doon doon pamadalake na nung sandana ni sa tamba na ibola, sa tu sartungan na murmata, sa tor sartungan na nalina.
Iya Vinaka. Iyo, na Roma kena wasewa lu tingene rusong buru kawale, tuni chuban that all things work together for them that love God and are called according to his purpose. Okay, wase chukubi kwa. What is the chance? What is the chance ni nomu lapu mo yuko Albania meko daru na flat ko renta ka daru na korribulli men daru mechi ko ike. And just below us, echugukina, and do a printing press for me a printer and no muy bola. Eu tu no chugubaya. Kila na ngaune tu wana na kalowe in the fullness of time.
Amen.
Sa kami dona ka ndara ni kaekina. Alata yana no be barota. Kina ngono tormi kino kana no na bola. Yan karuni nga na urede kinan ni matan ren na marama ni rang. And so nga na matan ren na satu ko na biyaw iyo. Kenero na urede ni sa toro pa na no ibol. La toro ka na ibol na matay ni kopi sa solim may ba. O sa re na matana na no sa mara o sa lako na way ni matana. Sa iyo kero sa tu na iyo may daru masuman daru babi ni na kalau and nakali ko sa paleta gona kai ko budina iko tete bagi tumikin na no bula tau dok no bola na so na ngona do wakau ta ve sona ve university rapablista ka sona non short story do wako to pa me kila vida na non short story sa tambake Samoa mai Guam do isa do bola na sa bola dona ka talita bali na bola ran yan tu biada na mataka o kila na madago na sa baro chuko na kango sa tu na bareta Na bula kena ko kunila kata kana basang. Ayaw sa na basang ka bang. Kunila. Oy ko. Wala nga. Kunila ayaw na basang na taga kita na kakya. Iko focus nga. Wana itubutu ba ko sa tubutu chukina. Yaw klaya do na kabimbi. Bekan na buli kina bali ko. Kabimbi bekan na veitokoni. La tu na non rasa sang oiran na watinda. Kabimbi bekan na iTaukei. Lebrangona nda kan Dr. Bimbi na non rasa sanga nda veitokoni yan. O klando na chiking bula bimbi mendan daw reda mendan daw tokon. Siya nga wala nga din non ratatanga oiran na watinda. Ira talaga na lubenda. Ira lubenda ira na wekanda. Dendu ay mga taktikan da nakalo me tandolakin. Nabi katumba kena non rasa sang. Rasa sang na chukin. Ay bita na kero buli de chiko yan na toso-tosong yo kila ni sa gayang na nagdawa bolang ni pamberi Keirau tapi airport ke ang santaw mo na lewawa wasa rin nga na sob sa duru tuika wala ka ni Keirau to nabi mo Keirau tulang kinangande ando pamberi Keirau to nga no tulang mo pa bookshop yan ay bola menabuli ako ento na bola na bookshop au sa tu mana salele na bookshop ra tu may binamunongol na Keirau sa bibi may Mexico doon nga nita tobe tuno ka nanunggoy bola melang ko tiyo sa Keirau pek tu nakakate ni na bola kaya Keirau sa taga bay Roma ta nakate ni Keirau sa ko ta banero kurbu Keirau sa donate panalay
Keirau sa donate na bola kaya tayo dong papulia
sa donate ka nangkay nero extra luggage nga ito na extra luggage bitaw nga may kinanano na
go para nagtola ko na wala ko la biya
di ko nito may kin
sabi ba ko getting jil Vinaka bale masta Ganivatu Talanoa veitokoni tiko bale na pariri bale na sasamaki bale na boss di ba ko geti be maramatau me ka kuni lak me bana yalo lain me tomana chikna na sasanga me rawasar na tikni mo nongo and then bitukina na singa moniti na nonda may maro takatiko na kaya may tabo na nonay bola na maramang kasi buli o Kelera Ganivatu ia tau o ve wili kan beka indua se rom beka na nomu serkali be na baka rom tiko ni kuwa
iya okla no wili kan beka ngai rua
don
iya matay nga ni serkali na kena title about go indigenize me. I think some people must have heard about this poem, Indigenize Me. You can come with all your terms. You can come up with all your definitions. Paddle out my brain with your college-style fancy talk. All I know, I am from here, the land that knows me, the land that breathes my name. It knows my hands, it knows me. It sips through my blood and veins, the way these bucket trees draw life from their roots, the way the rivers carve themselves from these mountains, the way the waves leap on the seashores, the way the dolphins leap through the air, the way the trees whisper my name. I am indigenous to this land. My blood breathes and calls out. It does not know black and white ink. It does not know hatred and greed. It does not know hidden motives the way you want to drive me from this land. Yan, namatay ni Serkan. Yet, yet you must know the blood knows his land as the land knows her people. The land has eyes, the land has ears, the land has a heart. This is the gift of my forefathers. This is the gift of the land to us, our posterity, our life. Kaya namatay ni Serkali. Nakapun Serkali, lingering sandalwood, se yasimboyawa. Let my presence here on earth be like this yasi or sandalwood, scattered, centered and fragrant, part of the bigger picture, a bigger perspective. It is part of a more immense landscape undeniable presence in flora and fauna, saturates us externally. As we stand here on my father's garden floor, you might not see me, you might not know me, but you can smell this fragrance. I hope to leave behind a fragrant legacy. May it scent your lives forever. May my offering to this world be like this yasi. The deadwood, a mask so dear and luxurious, undeniably strong and true, preserved rich, strong fragrance. May my presence be strongly felt within, even in my absence. May my offering to you be like this yasi fragrance, lingering within and thereon, long after I complete this earthly journey, long after this earthly suit decay. May I live on in your memory, from days of old to days of now. May this yasi fragrance lingers on to infinity. That's the second poem, and the rest, I think.
So the rest to the audience, you can own this book. So she just read 2 of the many beautiful, well-written poems in her book. So thank you, Tau, for sharing those heartfelt words that you've just shared to us. Indigenize me, totokan jina ni tagay reda na yang ni bili bola kena nomu bola vakai bola na bekau lako tu nomu vakasamai totoko vakawati bikem ni na baro mchukumai bikem na tiko ibalangi and daro ni ngona sarangana amazon.com aranyo ni walanga kina na dei maramagas ni buli Kelera Ganivatu sia umbit saranga kina eda ni bola the Peregrine Falcon's Cry ngona ngore de kina saron yo boleh saranga dore kanila live. Now Tau, I know you also have the hard copy. Can also people have e-copies or Kindle or things like that, and they can still purchase? Would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, on Amazon, I have provided 2 types of platform. Okila ni son tamatera sombe karsa order for Kindle. Now, Kindle is an ebook. A Kindle is an ebook. You need to, if you haven't done so, if you have already ordered, I would really invite you to go and download all the apps of Kindle app onto your devices, onto your tablet or iPad, whatever. And in there, you can log into the account that you bought the book from. So in there, you should be able to get the book. So Kindle is available. And I would like to, I mean, I'm not saying this because you need to buy my book, but I would like to recommend, if you can buy the book, buy. I mean, this is for your children. It is something that for the family, it's a good memento of a iTaukei writer like Naida Kalo, like Unaisi Nambombamba, and everybody who has released. And I would like to also say to the viewers that I also dedicated the poem, a very long poem, to our Bulou here. And my thanks for the things that she has done for the platform. And I intentionally wanted it to be long. And all the things that I wanted to say is there. Valetta, this is a platform that we celebrate what it is to be a Fijian, our achievements, our struggles and everything. And this is the platform for it. So it is my pleasure to write poems about people that I admire and that has inspired me. And one of that is Bulou's poem. It's also in this book. So paperback, you get it paperback on Amazon, and as well as Kindle on your and we are printing for Fiji readers that asked me, how do I get your book? I mean, so I don't know whether Amazon shipped to Fiji, but we're trying to print a number of copies, and there are people who have already reserved some copies, but keep on checking my page. The page should be be able to inform you about the latest updates about the books.
Yes. Totoo ka saranga, eh? Totoo ka saranga. So, yeah, so to those of you who watching, please do follow Kelera Ganivatu's page on Facebook. I know you also on Instagram and Twitter, tau?
Yeah, I'm also on Instagram and Twitter, Kelera Tuvo. I think I'm hardly on Twitter. Eh? I'm also hardly on Instagram. I just realized that as a writer, if I'm self-publishing, if somebody's publishing your book, it's good. For example, people who have published their books, they will do the marketing for you. But for me, I have to do the marketing for myself.
I see.
And so I just realized that I need to go on Twitter. I need to go on Instagram to advertise for my books. So I had to go over to Fiverr, Bangladesh and everywhere. Please, can you just design some of my social media advertisements for the platform? So they have already done that. It's very cheap, but they've been able to help me with that. So if you are self-publishing, go and publish Keirau. I mean, and if you are self-publishing, you need to do your own marketing. The book is going to die. How would people know about your book if you've written if you don't market it? I had to ask Bulou may launch just to let people know, because we don't really have much platforms. And that is why I am so glad this Talanoa platform is available.
Sa Vinaka vakalevu na raka vaita mera. You know, it's not easy, as you said before, and as Master also mentioned, you know, it's needs dedication and time and focus, and acknowledging Master Ganivatu for taking you know, domestic duties away from your work, so you can be able to give your 200% focus in making sure that the book is up to the standard as it is today. We are just all so proud of you, Tau, for making it this far. And I know this is not the you know, not the end of the journey. It's a beginning of your literary journey as a poet and a writer, and we're all so proud of you. Master Ganivatu, how do you feel right now?
Non da marota kanisa rawat itu naka nakipagkasamata na ngauna kena via baki sa sibian ni kana budin ndo na tatanra uba bini bina chukina valevu nyoko yesanga wando ni vakavale taka na talendi sole bwana kalo le weekend na bunika na matingana no talendi ninda senga ni taka senga ni taka lebu sa chiku na vakasama sa chiku talenga na tatanra yani sianga ni taka au kila sona be tatanra sona be tubu Vinaka itu weekend lebu nango sana mai matenga balete ni ndesanga ni solekina kena taka au bemboli vale bu ya lebu na lesson ni Vinaka au buli dekina dona kana marau pero marau taka chiku ni au sa tu no bareda publish nga. Namatay ni ka, just publish. Nila kung matangin na lumibo lang may sala ko yan.
Just do it. Just do it.
Mamanda nila ka tagang gongo. Hindi na katamatangin. May sa publish, may sa tunay bola. Kena vitale tarrafa so na kena vaka. Kung lang ka kena vaka. Kena vaka. Ubitsin, daw na so, manadamsod. O pamin na nga, di ko sa rawat o sa maraw sa mading. Ni kana sa rawat ito na kay kutuwa na may tatanga may nandoon ng unang palapo. Iya.
Totoo ka saranga. I can see the potential in the university ni Chikononondra, you know, School of Language and Literature, and I'm sure with a lot of my work in the indigenous space, I will surely highly recommend your book, you know, to many of those that work within my space. So definitely, you know, I will be happy to help you in the marketing side, especially in the world, you know, the space of academia and the space of indigenous literature. So this is where your book needs to be read, because some of the content of the book really connects to indigenous voices, indigenous views, indigenous ways of looking at the world. And we just want to celebrate with you, Tau, you know. People always say that we indigenous people, we are performers. Yeah, you know, we sing, we write, we perform, we sing, we dance, you know, anything like that. But when it comes to writing, we hardly do that. You know, there's something there that stops us. Maybe it's a language, maybe it's a worry, as Master Ganivatu was talking about, all the administration stuff that we shouldn't be worried about, because we have our own stories. So many stories to write about. But there's that kind of that gap that is there. So Tau Kelera, you have created the bridge to reduce that gap. That gap that is stopping many of us from writing. So I'm sure lots of writers, potential writers are listening right now, potential poets, you know, who are in that space, but they don't know how to take it that step further. So Tau Kelera, what would be your final advice to many of our women and our young ones listening in, and our men too, in terms of writing their stories or writing their poems and publishing them, Tau?
Yeah, I would like to say, first of all, that nothing is impossible. If you have a will, you have a way. And if you have been writing, I know some of the writers out there have reached out to me about their writing. I would like to publish. I would like to publish. I said, yes, you can do it. You can do it. You can go all the way. And this is my last encouragement. You know, I would like to encourage emerging writers. We need more iTaukei writers. I know that there are people who have written, but there's few people out there who are writing, and they are of iTaukei heritage, indigenous heritage. So I would like to encourage a lot of writers to really make the time to bring to completion. You know, you can write and have something publishable, to, you know, something that is worthy of being published, and work till the end, because we need to complete everything we start. That we need to finish this, because otherwise everything will just be incomplete. And I'm so glad of his, I'm so grateful that you know, God has provided a husband who has been able to support me. Number one support, numero one. And I'm so glad that, you know, we need, and I would like to say to those writers that they are not alone. We are here to encourage them. We are here to push them further so that they finish the book. Because first of all, you need to finish. You cannot publish if you have not finished anything. So you need to finish the book, and you need to get it edited, because we need to have very thorough, vigorous editing before I think there's a lot of publishing houses in Fiji. Keirau to my USP, they're publishing. You just have to get out of our comfort zone. A lot of questions came into my mind that am I good enough for this? I had to tell myself, yes, you are good, you are enough. So I want to tell those writers out there, you're good enough. Is out there, you are more than capable. People have the potential to write, and they can, we need more voices. We need more voices as indigenous Fijians. Our lives and our cultures are composed of these many overlapping stories. You know, one of the writers out there, Chimamanda Adichie, says, if we hear only a single story about the person or country, there's a risk of critical misunderstanding. But I've noticed something. And we do not, they portray us as caricatures. They portray us as more like a cartoonish people. And I believe that it is time we need to bring back that narrative, bring back that power that exists in these stories. And you know, we need to celebrate the heritage that we are given with. So it is a hope that indigenous Fijian writers, whether you're in Fiji or whether you're out there in diaspora, that you will publish works. Publish works, because we need to read many voices, many facets, many pictures of Fiji, about Fiji to the world. And once we read more about ourselves, you will find you start getting more pictures about what Fiji is about. And but kasi sa tanong tama na may walwal ting balitikenda, and it will be slanted. It's a one-dimensional, eh? On the right there, always so navas miranda. It's one-dimensional characters, and it's not their fault, but it is our fault if we are not writing anything about ourselves. So this is a big challenge. If you have the potential to write. But do look out for publishing. I really hope that Fiji will have a lot of publishing houses who can publish the works, because we need to support each other in this. Eh? So it's not, no man is an island. We need your support in reading things out there. So in English, but also in iTaukei. Yeah, nanong tapos sa mandanga serikali na collection. Kakita kan sarang dodon may weekend. They will weekend out there into the world. So we need to do it.
Ito, Vinaka ba sa tao na nombubi pa kung gate, yeah? Di na sarang around in the tatanda takatunga, and you know, it's just a dream. But when you actually do it, then you fulfill that dream.
Yes, yeah? We have to.
Yeah, nasarang. Basta Ganivatu, your last word or advice or encouragement to our listeners. Naka, masta?
Ya Vinaka, ube ator nga nang Vinaka go mo tumuto chukin na babi ni Vinaka levo. Atayo bangolet chukin na babi ni Vinaka be Dr. T.
Yes.
Kena no muni buvale. Kena buku ni no muni loloma sul. Kena be ngau ni kebe. We vamimi be kima mina iTaukei kima mitu na be bonotani. Kena kani ni mendo maruta kani mendo barorong. Kena no muni program. Kota mai na toso. Program ni toso. Programo ni loreikin na bula. Sulit talaga so nabi bakasama so bikimami. Meron ni kimamirekin na nabi kalile wetu. Rawa. Weekend ba bibi weekend na iTaukei. Au da buti chukuna babi ni Vinaka ni singi Vinaka ni kuwa. O kila ni senga wala nga ni Tariki mamchiku sa tete ni bei irakene. Ratu na bei seguro mo babi bibi madanga ver mai wiki. O tur talaga na ngono babi ni Vinaka chiku bei kemuni na barong chukme ni singi Vinaka ni kuwa. Binabalik na nung ni Sema Tigumay. Nakangubya tukun ni kuwa ni doon nakabimbi na nung da kilikan da ba kaikenda our identity. Doon na kabimbi. Balete ke bakayan da sa nasyangan ni kilikan da syangan ni bola na vika membalitikenda. Erna la tale maisor na ke me bola iso naka membalitikenda. Plan ya wasyo Kelera Ganivatu that if the lion does not know how to fire a gun, then the hunter is always be the hero. Nangoni kenda na bola kina na vika membalit kenda nonda na kila o kenda na nonda vika membalit kenda. O kila na tandola ba ni level nandola so na katu mo vikenda na vibara ramataki. Kila sa tos na ngauna. Sa bibisa una ka sa nondo momento tos tal nga o kenda. And kenang ngauna, lebon ngauna and right to by muri the vital nota kay sona kay 5 to may natoso kenang bula weekend. Yo ba binibinata ni program ukla ni bido bibara ramata viva longgang kata. Na ngauna lebu satu na tunisa sa ni rawa sa koengo na tabu tu na tao ngay ndola beso na bikatu beso. Rawni da tos telemi kina menda redeni chugo weekend na vika rawni to shoy kina non bula menda raw ka kina menda chugo Vinaka kina ayo do chikina ba Vinaka na si Vinaka ni kuwa wiki raw na biotini Vinaka sa vakalevu na veitokoni na vakalevu na loloma tiko raw ni kiro may vaitan chukina na platform Vinaka ngo. Vinaka sa vakalevu.
Vinaka musike mamichu na barongo virna sema chukumengo pakatalngaki no iranangay sema may muri nangone saranangay saraba na replay ni nanda to Talanoa klan ni ramaro taka vakalevu and the imbita kanindongan na nanda ngone iTaukei marama iTaukei marama gasnibuli sa may dawi sausaw na sing Vinaka ni kwenda maro taka tiko na kena sa may tavo na nona ibola tatanda taka tumay na vida na mbaki sa oti kasamay tambaki kada sa maro taka sarchika na sing Vinaka ni kuwa na kena tambaki na nona ibola the Peregrine falcon's cry. Bira na ba Vinaka merbulia into na nona ibola maramatau Kelera Ganivatu sa bamadal taka tiko kwa ni kay ngolenga na amazon.com bikena na tiko na taunda ko kay viti ni ngolenga kin sa rosarangan yung digitaka na paperback so binakata ko na kena mo na wili ka nga na nomuni mo na liba-liba na wuli roro na kena labi-labi roro ya bir li tiko viti ni ka ko ni lenga na turangan ni nakaseleka me kanda bongo sa soli bulatu men baka yang ataka na nona kukawa tau doko tiko wa men baka mai viti na ivola menda na yando sarangana kena labi-labi o mtanga already tiko tau Kelera ke baka ra mtanga weekend na duibu wala kedi mitiko donon de labi-labi sa toko baka na bukeira na ngone mer wili bola buke kenta talanga nangasi na bimbi ni wili bola sang wala ngani wili bola na to so talanga yani na panua ni bola sa rauni da wili bola me baka na leso inda buli de chikini kuwa lebu na wili bola na sema sarti ngayani kena tambaki na nonda Talanoa rani bolai na bosa baka iTaukei rani bolai na bosa baka rotuma rani bolai talanga na bima tangali bosta leso ia tiko nonda tatandra menda kako ni ngule daba ni rawa na buku ni koko ni kalo na soli weekend na yalo menda na laki daba yani na ka enda tanrati ko menda daba Vinaka bali sara bikem ratorang beauty na klali sambong ile sartiko may Albania na sing Vinaka ni kuwa ia damaro taka ni rosema sarchuk mena woli ke burabura ia mena yasa sa bakara vitile na mataka Vinaka ni kuwa ke may baka yandra chuka ni bikem roro arna yandra Vinaka baka levu na nom rosema mai na turanga beauty saba ko mati chuka ni bikem rau ndronge mati to
ni manda naka tayo
Nakabaliw sartao and congratulations once more. Nakabaliw sar mas Ganivatu na veitokoni chukubinandor marama.
Thank you.
Naka burmuade naka nakabaliw nakatao. Sa dababi ni Vinaka chukubaliw be maramatao Kelera Ganivatu and kaya may tawag tiko na nonay bola the Peregrine falcon's cry. Totoo baka oti tikmo donong labi-labi and mona libo-libo rongo Vinaka na non be matanggali serikali volatiko na non bola. Bunga bola itu kan bosa baka pertania so talangay loma duru tiko loma so na bosa baka biti. Totoo kandina na non baka bidi Vinaka tiko koya kibuana non now lorasia lutu na wasa baka bidi Vinaka tarchunga ko binanon ng bumbu tangani o amenayasi enikoro non ro we susu bula sa tabo may na maramanggo maraman ni nandi susu nga may sana baka turang ora baka bindi Vinaka ko baka leo bitaw Kelera non na yalon dina bukuni kan sa may tabo ni kuwa non iwala sa baka madani bikim ni todo ko sara nakabali mas depending nga ni batu non mo bito ko ni be maramatao sa baka madani ni mode manda